fantastic. And then 3 whammies come, you know. She dumped me on New Year's Day. I got an eviction notice a few days before New Year's Day, and my job a week previous had went out the window. Ultimately, I became homeless and had to live in my car, but it was as if I was cursed.
Luck be a lady tonight.
Luck. It's that most fickle of ancient forces. Feared, revered, courted and thwarted. But can we mere mortals really hope to control Lady Luck? Well, that's what magician turned psychologist Professor Richard Wiseman believes. He spent 10 years subjecting 1,000 people who described themselves as exceptionally lucky or unlucky to a barrage of psychological tests. Finally, though, he distilled his 4 fundamental principles of luck. To demonstrate Principle 1, we're going to show you Richard Wiseman's simple newspaper experiment. What I would like you to do is look at this newspaper and count all the photographs and pictures in it.
Right.
So like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, so on.
Okay, yep.
So fairly quickly, but don't rush.
Okay.
Okay. What our subject doesn't know is that the answer is written in huge writing on page 5.
Well, the results were that most of the unlucky people missed this here. A huge opportunity, half a page, stop counting, there are 52 photographs in here.
Oh my God, stop. Oh my God. Yeah, I didn't notice that. I was just looking at the pictures, that's it.
It gets worse.
£100 I took. Oh my God. You're joking.
What we're looking at here is probably what's called inattentional blindness. Lucky people tend to be a bit more relaxed, so they'll notice something rather unusual and go, wow, you know, there's an opportunity there. The unlucky people tend to be rather anxious, and when we become anxious, we become even more tunnelled vision. We focus all our attention into a tiny area, and so you miss these big changes in your environment.
But the difference between the lucky and the unlucky went much deeper. As the psychological testing progressed, hundreds of interview tapes revealed unlucky people had consistently closed body language.
His facial expressions are actually fairly neutral. He's not, smiling very much, so therefore won't be inducing those smiles in Sarah.
The lucky group, on the other hand, gave twice as many open gestures and smiled 3 times as often.
Baby like was like, okay, so I wrote back, okay, we can hear this.
She's definitely making me smile the whole time.
She's very good.
We'll go through.
So not only were lucky people better at spotting opportunities, their body language was subconsciously attracting them.
The possibility of a chance encounter that then works out well for you is much, much higher than the unlucky person who's not getting out and not touching other people's lives. So it's a very simple but striking example of how you create your own luck.
Remember unlucky Gary? We left him jobless, girlfriendless and sleeping in his car.
I was looked at the TV and then I saw the Richard and Judy show, and I looked and they said, "Are you unlucky?" And I thought, oh, yeah, I'm unlucky. I've just lost everything at the state of this. In my life, it's a right mess now. And they said, well, call this number, if you feel unlucky. Yeah, hello, my name's Gary Edmonds. Yeah, well, I'd like to put my name forward.
Joining us now are our 3 guinea pigs, Deborah, Gary and Megan, and of course, Richard himself.
Well, we're asking them to change the way they're thinking and really thinking about their lives and themselves.
Gary had unwittingly changed his luck already. He'd just started his first day at Professor Wiseman's Luck School. So, are you at home ready for the next lesson? Luck Principle 2 is all about the role of intuition. Now pay attention, because pretty soon I'm going to ask you a question. These men are all financial advisors. John is a respected, successful advisor. Norman has lost vast sums of money. Eric has a reputation as a poor financial analyst. Bill's predictions about the stock market have been reliable. Okay, here are 2 new pictures. Which man would you choose as your financial advisor? If you picked number 2, congratulations. You've just let your subconscious tell you the pattern your brain just learned, that men with short foreheads make better financial planners.
What we were interested in was intuition as a skill. It is a way of the brain dealing with very complex environments and saying, yes, look, don't worry about consciously thinking through everything, because otherwise you'd be there all day. Let's make a shortcut, and it's about accurate shortcuts.
You'd think it would be the unlucky people who relied on intuition. But in fact, they were the ones ignoring their gut instinct. Meanwhile, after a week on the Luck School program, Gary had decided that with no money and no home, what he really wanted was to buy a franchise for a travel business. If only the bank would lend him £25,000.
So I put a business plan together, I went in there, and they were really nice. I said the plan was good, but they couldn't lend me anything. But as I got up to leave, she said, oh, that reminds you, that there was a guy came in wanting to do exactly the same as you. So I gave him my phone number, and I met him, and then we decided we would do something together. Now, had I not went to the bank, that wouldn't have happened. You know, so he had the money, and I had the experience, and that was my first stroke of luck.
Maybe it seems like common sense that when the lucky people were surveyed, they were far more optimistic about their future. But here's the interesting thing, how that belief affected their behaviour.
What we did was to come up with a very simple experiment. We had 2 metal puzzles. We said one of these is really difficult, the other one's fairly straightforward. We're not going to tell you which is which. The lucky people were convinced that they had got the easy puzzle. And because of that, they would persevere for hours and hours trying to solve this puzzle. The unlucky people were convinced they got the difficult one, would hand it back after just a few seconds. And of course, in real life, the more you persevere, the luckier, more successful you will be.
As a result of Luck School, Gary had just had his first ever stroke of really good luck when calamity. His financial backer pulled out.
Before it would have been, I'm just unlucky, it just happens to me, you know, I'm meant to be kept down. You know, I'm not meant to have anything. You know, so why bother trying?
But Gary's reaction this time was unprecedented. He spotted a new opportunity and joined a different, nicer holiday franchise.
So I ended up being an agent for his company, but have been self-employed, obviously, in my own business. So I actually think that was luckier.
The notion that you are unlucky, I think, is one of the most dangerous beliefs you can hold. Because you think there's nothing you can do about it, because it's a kind of magical, superstitious belief. And so it just simply stops you trying.
It's now 3 years since Gary started Richard's Intervention, nicknamed Luck School. He's gone from nothing to having vintage cars he rents for weddings, a lovely house, a long-term girlfriend, and several small businesses, including a publishing arm.
I'm going to shove the second one down.
That's it?
Yeah.
And it was a similar story in Richard's long-term study group. An extraordinary 60% of people who started Luck School had major life improvements after 2 years.
What we're doing is redefining that word luck. Now it's an attribute that is, you know, with the person rather than some outside force.
You always got to keep pushing you. That's a good way of saying it. Pushing you.